Tito Ajayi was tired of surviving. Not struggling, surviving. There is a difference. Struggling meant there was hope. Surviving meant you were one unpaid rent away from disappearing in Lagos. Aja had told her that. She lived in a cramped face-me-I-face-you apartment off a dusty road, sharing a bathroom with four other tenants, dodging landlord threats and stretching one meal across 2 days. So when the offer came, it didn't feel wrong, it felt like oxygen. Just act like my fiancé, the man said. Jude Scott, wealthy, reserved, the kind of man whose wristwatch could pay her rent for years. Tito had stared at him across the table in a quiet cafe in Lekki Phase 1, trying to understand why someone like him needed someone like her. I don't understand, she said. It's simple, Jude replied. I need to secure a government-backed infrastructure contract. Their board prefers stability, married men, or at least men who look settled. And you think I can help with that? I think you can play the role, he said, studying her. You're presentable, you carry yourself well, and you need the money. Straight to the point, how much? Tito asked. 5 million, half upfront, half after. Her heart skipped. That kind of money didn't just solve problems, it erased them. The arrangement was clear. Appear together, attend meetings, play the parts convincingly. No emotions, no complications. At first, it was easy. Tito transformed quickly. New clothes, polished hair, confidence she didn't know she had. Walking beside Jude into high-end restaurants, corporate offices, and private meetings felt like stepping into another life. People respected her not because of who she was, but because of who they thought she belonged to. Jude was distant, always controlled, always measured. He wasn't cruel, just unreachable. You don't talk much, Tito said once during a drive back to Aja. I talk when necessary, he replied. And what about when it's not necessary? He glanced at her briefly. Then I stay quiet. But sometimes she caught glimpses, a tired sigh, a loosened tie after long meetings, a moment where he almost smiled. And in those moments, he didn't feel so cold. The contract was closed. One final meeting, one final impression. One night, Judy had asked her to come over to his mansion in Ikoyi to rehearse for the final presentation dinner. Everything had to be perfect. Tito arrived, dressed simply, her mind focused. This was the end. One more performance, then 2.5 million naira, then freedom. Jude was in his study where she entered. A sleek room, quiet, expensive. He stood by a table, opening a black box. She noticed it immediately. Cash. Stacks of dollars, neatly arranged. Her breath caught. You're early, he said without looking up. I didn't want to be late, she replied, her eyes still on the box. He gave a small nod, then suddenly paused. His hand gripped the edge of the table. Jude, she said, frowning. He didn't respond. Then he collapsed. Everything happened too fast. One moment he was standing, the next, he hit the floor hard. Jude! Tito rushed to him, panic rising. Jude, wake up! Wake up! No movement, no response. Her heart pounded as she shook him. Nothing. Silence filled the room, heavy, terrifying. Then her eyes shifted back to the box. Her breathing changed, slow, uneven. In that moment, two versions of Tito existed. One that called for help, one that didn't. She stood up slowly, her ears rang, her mind raced. If you stay, you explain. If you explain, you're involved. If you're involved, your life is over. She looked at Jude, still unmoving, gone. I'm sorry, she whispered. She didn't know if she meant it. Then she took the box and left. Days later, the news broke. Businessman found dead in Ikoyi mansion. Autopsy, cardiac arrest. No foul play suspected. Tito watched it from her small room in Aja. Her hands trembled, but no one came. No questions, no police, nothing. Weeks passed, then months, and Tito changed her life. She started small, a styling service from home, then expanded, a spa, a beauty brand. Within a year, she owned a modest but elegant space in Aja. Clients came, money flowed. She moved into a semi-detached duplex, bought a car, built a life she had once only imagined. $150,000 in that box she carried had rewritten her story. However, her mind still traveled back to that night. Tito would sometimes see it again. The fall, the silence, the box. She told herself the same thing every time. He was already dead. You didn't kill him, you just survived. But survival had a cost. One evening while closing her spa, a client casually said, Do you remember that man that died last year? Big businessman, Jude something? Tito's chest tightened. Yeah, the woman continued. They said he was about to close a major deal. Everything just ended like that. Life is funny. Tito forced a smile. Very funny. That night, she sat alone in her living room, surrounded by everything that money had given her comfort, security, status, and yet there was a quiet emptiness that she couldn't name. Because deep down, Tito knew the truth. Her life didn't just change that night, it split into who she was before and who she became the moment she chose the box.